President Trump absolutely wrecks Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, after Carney says that Canada is not for sale. Yes, Trump offers a blunt three-word response after Carney says Canada is not for sale. Yes, Canada, of course, as we all know, as you know, I know, is the 51st state. Trump has said this many times. My personal opinion, I'm not sure I want Canada to be the 51st state. There's a lot of loons up there. I don't know why they vote the way they do. They just voted in this globalist activist for climate change, Mark Carney, in as prime minister over Pierre Poilievre, I believe this is how you say his name. Both not great choices, but Pierre light years ahead of Mark Carney. Like Mark Carney is like electing Barack Obama again or Joe Biden again. Just think of it that way. But President Trump again said Tuesday he wanted Canada to be America's 51st state. And the great thing about this, he said this right to Mark Carney's face, which is amazing. But he was rebuffed by newly elected Minister Mark Carney in a tense exchange in the Oval Office. Quote, "I still believe that, but it takes two to tango," Trump told reporters, saying too that Mark Carney could offer nothing to change his mind about new tariffs on America's northern neighbor. And then he goes, "No, it's just the way it is," Trump said of changing course of his new levies against Canada. Trump later gave more extensive commentary on a possible North American political union, calling the U.S.-Canada border an artificial line and saying it would lead to a massive tax cut for them. Quote, "When you look at that beautiful formation on a map when it's together, I'm a very artistic person. But when I look at that, I said, that's the way it's meant to be. But we're not going to be discussing that unless someone else wants to discuss it," he said. "It really would be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. And I admit, Canadians are nice people. I've met a lot of really nice Canadians. But the demographics in Canada are changing very quickly. And I don't know if Canada is actually Canada anymore. They're dealing with the same thing that the United States is dealing with, the UK is dealing with, mass illegal immigration. Thankfully, the United States elected Trump, so now we are hopefully remedying the issue. But Canada and the UK, they're not really following suit. Carney, who is 60, shot back that Canada is not for sale and that the Canadian view on becoming the 51st state is not going to change. And Trump responds right after this, "As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale." And Trump replied, "I say never say never." Let's go to the video here. This is the short exchange between Donald Trump and the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, who visited the White House today. Take a look.
They get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale.
I really like the little smirk on Donald Trump's face here. He's just sitting there kind of nodding along. Okay, Mark Carney, listen, I've been in this game a lot longer than you. You won the election somehow in Canada. Very dubious. I don't know if anyone actually believes that it was 100% legitimate. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But somehow he won. And he is trying to play hardball with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is like, "Listen, Mark, I'm Trump. I'm the guy. I'm the guy who plays hardball. Your fake little Canadian politeness is not going to work here in the United States of America. I mean, if we wanted to take Canada, we could just go up there and take it. But, I don't know if we really want it. I don't know if Trump really wants it. I think he's just using this to kind of goad people into getting angry or something like that, because there's a saying that I heard when I was younger, and I live by this saying. And that saying is, "He who angers you controls you." And Donald Trump is the king of making the people who don't like him absolutely furious. And when this happens, when Donald Trump trolls the libs or trolls the media, trolls foreign countries, Donald Trump is essentially like a puppet master controlling all of these angry people because he knows just the buttons to push. So that is a saying I live by. I have imparted my wisdom onto you. Do with that what you will. Let's take a listen to the rest of this.
But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. We have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO.
Okay. Mark Carney throwing some kind words to President Trump, practicing a little diplomacy here. I'm kind of digging this.
And us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Owned. Carney gets owned by Donald Trump. Never say never. Oh, you're not going to be the 51st state? Never say never. Moments earlier, Trump shook hands and smiled with Carney outside the Oval Office, meeting for the first time minutes after sending a snarky message on True Social questioning the value of trade with America's northern neighbor. It's really funny to see these leaders, leaders of these countries meet each other. So they'll all in their separate countries, all talk big, and say, "Oh, I'm gonna really stick it to them," blah, blah, blah. And then they'll meet, and then all of a sudden they're very cordial. It reminds me of a video I saw one time of two dogs. One was really, really small. The other one was a normal sized dog. And the small dog was standing outside of this chain link fence. It was actually a gate. And the dog was going nuts on this other dog from outside of the chain link gate. And someone came up and opened the chain link gate. And what happened? Well, that dog calmed down really, really quickly. And then he just kind of stood there, didn't do anything. Before he was barking, snarling at this other dog. And the person closed the gate again. And what happened? Just went nuts. That's what it reminds me when these foreign leaders, come to the United States and all of a sudden they're kissing Donald Trump's feet. They just cannot say enough good things about him and the job he's done in the country. It's really funny because Mark Carney, he had a lot of things to say after he was elected as prime minister, saying he was going to stand up to Trump and Canada will never be the 51st state. This is a declaration of war on Canada, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes to Donald Trump and he compliments him. It is beautiful. This is what Trump said before Carney came to the White House. He said, "I very much want to work with him, but cannot understand one simple truth. Why is America subsidizing Canada by $200 billion a year in addition to giving them free military protection and many other things? We don't need cars. We don't need their cars. We don't need their energy. We don't need their lumber. We don't need anything they have other than their friendship, which hopefully we'll always maintain. We will always maintain. They, on the other hand, need everything from us. That will most likely be my only question of consequence," the president wrote. Carney, meanwhile, has said that he wants to discuss bilateral relations with Trump and see how Canada and the U.S. can work together amid the tariff wars. Yes, Canada also on the receiving end of some tariffs, and it's absolutely beautiful. That's probably why he has to, placate President Trump, because he probably doesn't want any more tariffs. He's tired of the tariffs. So he's like, "Please, Trump, please, please, I will give you anything. I will give you all the maple syrup in Canada if you just please take away the tariffs." Trump is like, "Sorry, can't do it. You're going to have to give me the whole country." But that's what I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think about this down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.